Hello, it is Monday, May 16th, 2022 at 6:46 p.m. Eastern Time. This is my video journal, and today is my 13th wedding anniversary to my spouse, Hillary Cooler. So I thought I'd tell you a little story about what could be referred to as a dowry. I proposed to my wife on midnight in 2007 in Central Park in New York City because that was her favorite city. Fireworks went off, the whole shebang. We were engaged for several years, and the families put the pressure on for us to finally get married and have a wedding. All the weddings I'd been to growing up were at fire halls in northwestern Pennsylvania. I lived across the street from the Utica Volunteer Fire Hall. I just assumed that we would have some kind of outdoor ceremony and a reception at the fire hall. This was the height of the wedding industry. Everybody was having big, new, interesting weddings. And my wife wanted to have a nice big party wedding. We both met at the fraternity. So we had a lot of mutual friends that were fraternity brothers. So she wanted to have a big wedding. Her dad, my father-in-law, who's an interesting character, a big Harley-Davidson motorcycle guy, he offered to buy us each Harley-Davidson motorcycles if we just eloped or had just a reception at the fire hall, something cheap. But deep down inside, I think him, his wife, and my wife all wanted to have a big party and kind of show off how much money he has as a Johnson & Johnson pharmaceutical executive. It's a good excuse to spend a bunch of money and have a big party. So I couldn't talk my wife into just taking the motorcycle deal. So we planned a big wedding at Phipps Conservatory in Pittsburgh. We looked at other venues, but settled on the tropical rainforest at Phipps Conservatory. A couple weeks before, or months before the wedding, my father-in-law gave me a wedding gift. It was a Tag Heuer Aqua Racer watch, a dive watch, a nice expensive watch, most expensive piece of jewelry or garment I'd ever worn. It was retailed at about $1,000. He bought it from Roman Jewelers in Flemington, New Jersey. We went there to get the band adjusted, and I think either I registered it in my name or he had registered it. When you buy expensive watches, I guess it's common that you register them. So this watch, it didn't occur to me, was a dowry until 2016 when I drove to Washington, D.C. And as I was walking around D.C. looking at all the monuments, the granite, the marble, and I was running from a satellite that was beaming into my brain, I thought, what if a satellite had enough resolution, a camera with enough resolution, to see the face of a watch sitting on a slab of granite sidewalk? Maybe the satellite's tracking me with this spy watch. I should abandon it. I could have hawked it, sold it at a pawn shop, and got more money to hit the road. But I thought, this dowry, this expensive watch, I'll lay it down on this slab of granite sidewalk, thereby claiming the mineral rights to all of Washington, D.C. for the Masons and the indigenous people of the world. So, you know, I did. I left that watch sit on a sidewalk. I laid it down and I walked away. And what I mean by mineral rights is I mean all the marble and granite, all that type of material, all those mineral things that the monuments are made out of. I claim it in the name of the masons that built them, the real masons, and the true masons, not the executives and billionaires that make up the masons now, but the women and men that spend 40 hours on a ladder or on a roof. So, the real masons and the indigenous people of the world. I claim the mineral rights as a representative of both. And, you know, these billionaires, these executives that make up the Mason, that go to the Masonic temples now, that are Masons, so-called Masons, they probably have a price out on my head. But I laid that dowry down in 2016, probably at the height of the pharmaceutical industry, its lobbying power, its money it's spent on lobbying, the height of it. A dowry I got from a pharmaceutical executive. I laid it down, and now I am trying to dismantle the pharmaceutical industry. I laid it down at the height in Washington, D.C. when I was tuned into some satellites that were spilling some top secret information directly into my brain. And then when I traveled about, more information came to me that were secret Mason information. So I made a video series when I was in Denmark called Masonic Storyteller, talking about the structures in Aalborg, Denmark. But yeah, that's the story of my dowry. I laid it in Washington, D.C. on a fancy sidewalk and walked away. I don't know where that watch is now. I think it was registered, so somewhere it'll pop up someday. Maybe it's worth money now. It was a nice watch, I liked it. But I'm not much of a watch wearer anymore. My father-in-law is a watch guy. He's got a lot of motorcycles and a lot of watches. Join me tomorrow on primary election day when I talk about conspiracy theories involving wireless energy, satellites, and politicians, and my father-in-law. Thanks for watching. Join me tomorrow.